We're not on fire. I got myself a Slurpee. Right. So I was going to tell you about my spiritual awakening. Just before I do that, I think spiritual awakening is something that you don't just wake up and that's the end. I think you go through a spiritual awakening probably forever, because you wake up again and again and again and over and over. That's what I personally think. They say that you have a spiritual awakening and then eventually you become enlightened. I think we're all enlightened beings to some degree. However, I do believe that obviously when you're spiritually awake, you are clearly far, far more enlightened than other people. So it's a very personal thing, and it's everybody's different. It happens to different people, different times, for different reasons, and in so many different ways you'd never believe. For me, I'd have to go right the way back to when I was a little child, really. I've always felt different, always different, from my siblings. I wanted to do different things, really, than them. And I did. And I've always done different things from them, and I still do different things to them. I look differently. I see the world in a different way. You know, I'm the only one from my 3 brothers and 1 sister, and me, the only one to have tattoos, and I've got millions. The only one to have piercings, and I've got loads. The only one to have gone to raves and festivals and you know, whatever, and seen loads of bands live, and used to stay out for days on end, weeks on end as well, as when I grew up. The only one, I don't know really, the only, you know, it's only been me. It's I've had my own way, my own path, different to them. They're all quite similar in some respects, but I just had this way, this you know, that I just had to follow, really. But anyway, I began, as I said in the last video, questioning things many, many years ago. Is there a higher purpose for my reason to being born? Just little things like that. And I couldn't settle on any answers, you know, whatever, but I started meditating, which brought on, I don't know, a nice serene sort of calmness within me, but it also enabled me to think things through. I didn't hold on to them, I didn't get angry, I didn't get, you know, full of bitterness or anything like that. And when there were problems and troubles and things like that, it just enabled me to shrug them off. And I think in many respects that was probably the start of my spiritual awakening. I didn't realise it at the time, but obviously it was. But I'd spent years doing what I thought I should be doing what everybody expected me to do. And that is to leave school and get a job and, you know, follow that sort of path. I wasn't happy at all, but I did it. And one day, one evening, I hadn't been well, and I hadn't been well for months on end. Terrible. I went to see a doctor, because I'm a man, you don't see a doctor for about 3 months, but I went to see a doctor, and I'd lost 2 stone in weight. I could hardly keep any food down. I just was so ill. Anyway, they discovered there was a little bit of a problem in my kidneys, and there was a couple of other little things. So I started medication and things to get me back on some sort of a track. But either the day I went to see the doctor or the following day, in the evening, I began to feel very, very unwell. Seriously unwell, I think. At the time I was living on my own. I was laid on the sofa. I put some music on to listen to, and I just felt awful. Anyway, I went through this kind of weird time. I thought I died, and I thought I was dead. And I remember when I opened my eyes, trying to open my eyes, it was red, bright red, full of blood. My eyes were absolutely full of blood. They weren't really, but that's what I could see, just full of blood. And my heart was beating out of my chest. I couldn't move. And that was it. I was dead. As far as I was concerned, I was dead. That was it. And I obviously went to sleep. The following day, when I woke up, I was clean inside, in my body. When I breathed in, there was a clean clarity of air. Don't know what it was, very, very strange. And I felt good. And I got up, I was on the sofa, got up off the sofa and I went in to my little bathroom, had a wee, and I turned and had a wash, and the water, the feel, I remember it now and it makes me laugh, the feel of that water on my hands. I've never ever felt water. Have you ever felt water? The feel of water on my hands was magical. And I could breathe. So I was breathing this beautiful air. I was touching this magic. And the smell in the bathroom was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I looked in the mirror and my face was glowing. And I was smiling. I had a tiny window, but the light was hitting the side of my face. The beautiful contours in my skin. I couldn't believe it. This skin is mine. Anyway, it went on and I made myself a Slurpee. I've never tasted Slurpee like that in my life. Wow, so blessed, beautiful. Beautiful. The taste was something else. And I sat there thinking, coffee, wow. Coffee is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. And I remember I was laid there and I remember I was feeling ill and I thought, well, I don't know. What was I doing? I was listening to music. So I put the music back on. The sound. The sound. The sound. Magical. Everything. I ended up going outside. I was barefoot. I went outside and I stood in my garden. The feel of the earth. The vibrations within the land. The coldness of the grass. The dampness. Touching my toes. The colour of the grass. blue sky. I'd never seen colours like that in my life. Never, ever. Everything was magical. That really was the start of my spiritual awakening. As crazy as it seems and sounds and what have you, that's how it was. I remember lots of things. I remember that day. So a friend had been round, he'd written me a note and he'd left a pencil there. The pencil was orange and I picked it up and I looked at that colour, that rich, beautiful orange. It was like a work of art. You know the shape as it goes down towards the tip and you get these little rounds. Absolutely immaculate, beautiful. And then the kind of oatmeal colour of the wood with the grain. The grain was red and orange, stunning in a pencil. And then the tip was not black, but very, very dark grey. And it shone, beautiful. That was just a pencil. And it went on and on, every cup, every spoon, the light bulb. A cloud, my God, you know, I could have burst into tears seeing a cloud. Crazy. But lots of things happened. Every time I went to sleep, I was dreaming of crazy things, really. All sorts of weird things, but I kept getting things given to me. Transmogrification, transmogrify. Those two words went pop, pop, pop. They kept coming in. And that transmogrification is to magically change into a different something, I think. That's what it means. But I knew what it meant. I didn't know just the word, but I actually, inside of me, I knew what it meant. And another one, there was perspicacious. I knew what perspicacious. I wrote a poem at that time from start to finish and I called it Perspicacious. And perspicacious is to have a ready knowingness and an insight into many things. Perspicacious. I didn't just know the word, I knew the meaning. I knew what it meant. I knew I had a poem. I'd evolved and changed overnight, dramatically overnight. That's what happened. And as I say, you can view this with disbelief, you can do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck, you know, you do whatever you do, but it's fact. That's that, you know. But anyway, that day, the following day, I'd been living there for 9 years and I made up my mind I was going to move. I don't know how or where to, but I was going to move. And I had a landline, the phone rang, and my nephew phoned up and said, how are you doing? And I said, come down, see me. Anyway, he came down and I said, look, I'm going to move. And he said, where to? I said, I have no idea, but I'm moving. And he said, I'll come with you. He was only young, and I said, no, because, you know, you might change your mind. And he said, no, I want to come with you. I hate this town. I said, if you're sure, I'm moving as soon as possible. He said, where are you going to go? I said, I don't know. I said, go and get the map. You know, Bodes, what are you doing, darling? Get on your couch for a minute, please. Kiss, kiss. A hole. Okay. Okay, you can stay with us. You're just listening to me? What? Yeah, in a minute then. He said he wants to go for a wee. I said, in a minute. Okay. I said, no, you're only young, you might change your mind. But he said, no, I hate this town, I want to move with you. So I said, fine. Go and get the map. He got the map. He opened it facing him. He was sat on the floor, I was sat on the sofa. And I got a pen, I closed my eyes and I said, spin the map, turn it around, and I went bang. And I stuck it in. And I said, that's it, that's where I'm moving, that's where we're moving. He said, when? I said, tomorrow. You know, let's go. And we got the train, I went down, I got a flat and moved. It was that easy, that simple. After 9 years of telling myself I couldn't do it, I knew I could do it, but I just did it. And when I got there, my menial jobs, I'm not really dissing anybody's jobs, but they were menial to me. I was a dustman, I worked in a warehouse, I worked in a shitty old shop, Tesco's. Can you believe it? Tesco's, I worked at Tesco's. None of that was for me. But I suddenly wanted to work with the brain. I suddenly knew that that's where I wanted to go. And cut a long story short on that, but a long 9 years, and I got to where I wanted to get. But I knew I could do it. I knew so much. From going to sleep that night to waking up, I knew 90% of what I know now, just overnight. Phenomenal, weird. But so that's my spiritual awakening. Obviously in the last video I said a couple of things, which I'll just reiterate really. You do feel odd, you do feel different, and you can feel alone. I feel, for me, and it's only for me probably, I don't know, I feel, you're right, I feel very, very much alone, but alone within my own thoughts. And oh my love, what are we doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What? What? Go away. Keep rubbing my beard. What's wrong with you, man? Go and grow your own. Yeah, I feel very much alone, but I feel like I don't fit. I don't belong to this world. That's how I feel. Big statement that was. I don't belong to this world. No, I don't. I just don't fit in with this world, so therefore I feel quite alone. Now, I have to accept that I'm a bit of a lone wolf anyway. I'm a bit of a maverick. I do what I do, and I like that. I actually prefer my own company to the company of other people, mostly. So I've got no great problem doing that. But I've just got this this overriding factor that I just don't and can't fit into this world. I can't see myself in this world. I can't fit into a way. There's lots of ways that people pigeonhole themselves or parcel themselves off, box themselves up. They find their way of fitting, and I can't and don't fit. I only fit with me. That's how I see it. It's very strange, but that's how I see it. Having said that, I'm perfectly happy. I'm happy in so many different ways, you'd never believe it. I've done videos talking about happiness, but I've never spoken about my own personal happiness. And I might do a video about that at some stage, or I might not. But I'm happy beyond belief for 90% of my day. Now, when I went through that weird stage, particularly in the morning, the feel of water, I still have that. You've seen it in my videos, really. You get a glimpse. When I'm walking, I go, wow. Wow. This tree. Wow, look at the cloud. Oh, beautiful. The grass. Look at that stone. Look at this bird. Look at this leaf. I'm in awe. Every day I wake up is the first day of my life. I'm born again every day, and every day I go out for a bimble, and every day I go, wow, magical, cosmic, it's beautiful. So every day I'm reliving how I was. It's phenomenal. It's incredible. I'm sure you've listened to this video and you're about to call the men in white coats and saying, lock him up, he's off his rocker. Do what you like, you know. This is the truth, you know. This is me saying it as it is. I love this planet and I love living on this planet. I don't fit on this planet. I don't really belong on this planet. But while I'm here, I am loving every footstep, every breath of air, every drop of rain. It's not even a drop of rain. When I see a drop of rain on a leaf, I look at the outer skin. I look at the darkness on one side and the lightness on the other on the skin. I look in through the raindrop and I see a reflection of what's behind me or what's in front of it. I see the colours within that reflection. I see the way the light hits it and it's translucent, but it sparks back a little tiny bit of colour. I see the way it takes on the form of the leaf that it's on. So the underbelly of the raindrop is a dull green, or maybe a purple or a black. And I look at that raindrop and I think, wow, that's everything. We don't need any more than that. One single raindrop is phenomenal. It's mind-blowing. That's how I see it. Anyway, before you do call those men, yeah, it's just, that's it really. So my awakening now, what is it now? I don't know what it is now. I suppose what my awakening is to spread the message, to spread positivity and love, to try to show people that there is a different way of being, of thinking, of living, to teach, if I can, to remind people that money isn't important, time is your most precious asset, to say a nice word to somebody, smile at a stranger, to be positive and polite and decent and kind, to be a loyal friend, to be a good dog owner. So I'm not sure why I'm on this earth still, but maybe that is it, maybe that is enough. And if I can achieve one, some or all of those things, then I suppose my job's done. Anyway, that's enough. The next time you see a raindrop, an autumn leaf, a little cloud in the sky, or anything, a pencil, I need say no more. Okay, take care and be well.